Hello, welcome back to Risa's Attic. Well, today I want to discuss with you a little tip that I learned from one of you guys. And honestly, because I watch videos like right when I'm going to sleep, kind of, sometimes it makes me relax, sometimes they excite me so much I have to quit watching them. But so sometimes I watch about, I would say 5 to 10 videos a day. And if I'm watching them, right before I go to sleep, then I don't usually remember exactly who it was that did it, and I remember the tip, but I don't remember the person. So I am very sorry, but this was a phenomenal tip. We all have bits and pieces of paper left over when we are making cards, or if you're a scrapbooker, you have bits and pieces left over from that too. What this person did was she breaks down her scrap papers into regimented or specific sizes. Now, I've labeled these 2¼ by 3 3/4 inch, and all of those left over are that way. And I've got some real little ones that were actually some labels, so that's where I'm keeping those. I found some nice little boxes to keep them all in. In fact, the box was from, these little boxes were from a watch that my husband purchased. And he says, "Hey, can you use these?" And I says, "I sure can, thanks. I'll find some way to use them." And this is how I'm doing that. All right, here's another little box full. And you see how this tilts. That one's the same way. And they're just perfect for putting in these little bits of paper. But I've got 2x2s, 2½, 2 by 3, 2½ by 3½. And then at the very back, I've lost my little piece of paper that says, but these are 3x4s in here. That's probably it right there. 3x4s. And all of these are my 3x4 pieces of paper. Now this particular little bin right here, I think it was $2.99 or $3.99 at Tuesday Morning. It's a refrigerator bin, and you can see why it's considered that. These are chewing gum containers. You know, you can buy the gum now in these little plastic things. So here's my stash of bits of paper. Instead of, like, I had been putting them in so many different containers. I put them in a pouch in a notebook one time. I put them in an envelope one time, and it would just get stuffed full, and I would get frustrated, and I'd throw the whole thing out. So this is actually, I keep it on my desk. I see it while I'm working. And if I need it, there it is. I have a question I would like to ask y'all. I have gotten inks on these. These are alcohol markers and then other inks as well. What gets it off? I sprayed it with this solution that I purchased at Tuesday morning, and it didn't get it off. I'm a messy person, but it's a wee bit embarrassing, but I would like to know how to clean that off. All right. One of the things that has happened now, I've been making some bows lately. I'm checking the time. I've been making bows lately. Here's a pretty one I made earlier, because I'm making the little girl, the little baby girl cards, as you know. And so I decided to, as one of the elements of interest, one of the layers of interest that you put on a card, I decided to make up some bows. So when I did, I used some new old stock. It is paper from Creative Memories, and it is very, very thin. I mean, it's very thin. It's simply not cardstock quality. But, so when I was putting them in, when I was putting my strips in here, it wasn't cutting it. So the thing that I did to make it less flimsy is I glued it down to another strip of nice thick cardstock, and waited a minute or two and then cut it down so I can make some bows. And Viola, that's just a little joke. The word is voila, but it's spelled Viola. And on Warner Brothers, Daffy Duck and all the old ones, they would say Viola instead of voila. And then I actually, I grew up thinking that word was Viola, and when I heard people say voila, I was like, what are they talking about? Okay, anyway. So I put the cardstock behind it, and I was able to make the pretty little bows to go on my cards. Let me just show you one of those, since I'm just rambling right now. Oh, here it is. Welcome, baby girl. There's one. Now, this was done with regular cardstock, so it came out pretty good. I sprayed the inside with Glimmer Mists. And you know how that whenever you spray cardstock or any other paper, actually, it tends to want to buckle. But here's one of my little baby girl cards, and I'm just so pleased with it. I love the little elements there. Here is a cute little monkey, a girl monkey. And this was a bow that was a button. It was a shank button. I cut the shank of it off with my some metal clippers that I have in my desk, and sanded it down even further, and then I went over it with an alcohol marker. And alcohol markers do tend to be permanent on plastic. So I gave her a little bow. And then, this is something that I think I discussed yesterday. I put down the stencil, the new stencil that I have. Oh, it's hanging on the wall. Here we go. I sprayed it like 20 times with varnish so that it won't hopefully degrade when I spray it with paints. But I sprayed this with the Glimmer Mist, and I thought it turned out so very pretty. Instead of it being just stark white, it has an element of design to it, and I love that. I've not really done stencils in the past, just very little, and I've never really done a good job on them. So I'm feeling a little bit more confident with that. I thought I would give this as I would purchase a frame, and I would give this at the birth of another baby girl. And the mama or the daddy can write the name, the stats here, and maybe even write her name here or here. I don't have good handwriting, so I won't even offer to do that, but I'll give that away. All right, well, I'm fixing to get started on cutting these down and getting them put up so I can have some organized bits of paper to work with. God bless you. Thank you for spending just a few minutes of your time with me. It means a lot to me. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.